So, what if there was a kind of hidden system that could give you an edge in life? That's the core idea we're exploring today, and it comes from a sermon by Apostle Joshua Selman. He calls it a system of divine favor. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that means and how he says it actually works.
The whole concept really starts with something we can all relate to. Life is just hard. Without some kind of outside help or advantage, the speaker argues that getting ahead, or even just getting by, can feel like an impossible uphill battle.
And that's where this whole idea comes in. It's presented as the solution, an intentional spiritual system designed to counteract all that difficulty. The speaker calls it favor, and it's framed as a way to unlock doors that would otherwise stay slammed shut. So let's get into it. What is favor in this context? Well, the speaker is super clear that this isn't about random luck or just getting a lucky break. Nope, it's presented as a deliberate system you can actually engage with, kind of like a partnership. Okay, so here's the definition the sermon gives. Favor is a type of divine help that does two very specific things. First, it gives you unmerited access, getting you into rooms and in front of people you have no business being in front of. And second, it makes things that should be incredibly hard suddenly become easy.
Now, this is a really important point he makes. He hammers home that this system of favor is not an excuse to do nothing. It's not, as he puts it, a license for laziness. It's supposed to be a partnership that combines God's help with your own responsible action.
Okay, so if it's a system, how do you, turn it on? Well, according to the sermon, the very first key is a specific practice, a type of prayer. He calls a favor-provoking prayer. And the whole idea behind this prayer is it's a total shift in strategy. So instead of spending all your energy trying to convince people, like bosses, investors, or officials, the idea is to ask God to go ahead of you and do the convincing for you. And he actually lays it out in 4 clear steps. Step 1, you have to specifically ask for favor. Step 2, consciously pull back on trying to do it all yourself. Step 3, ask God to knock on those doors for you. And finally, step 4, you have to believe it's already done. All right, on to the next key. This one's explained through a really interesting story he calls the Esther anointing. Now, anointing here basically means a special kind of empowerment for a task. And this story is a perfect case study in how to mix that divine help with some really smart human strategy. So here's the setup, and it's a real high-stakes deal. You have Esther, a total outsider, competing with tons of other women to win the favor of the king. I mean, the odds were completely against her. And this is where her strategy was absolutely brilliant. See, instead of relying on her own ideas, she went to Haggai, an insider who knew the king inside and out. And whatever he suggested, that's exactly what she did. She trusted his expert advice. And the result of this, it was incredible. Her approach worked so well that she didn't just get favor from the king, she got it from everyone who saw her. And, of course, she became the queen. It's presented as the perfect example of wisdom and favor working together. And that story leads us right into another really important idea the speaker talks about, the right way to see the people who help you. And this right here is a huge mental shift he's proposing. The idea is to stop seeing people as the ultimate source of your help or your opportunities. Instead, you're supposed to see them as channels that help flows through. It's a way to keep your perspective straight. So you might be thinking, if people are just channels, how are you supposed to deal with them? Well, the sermon says it's not about money. It's about 4 other kinds of currency. There's honor, which is all about showing respect. Value, meaning you bring something useful to the table. Relationships, you got to nurture those connections. And, of course, prayer, to connect to the actual source. Okay, so what's the end game here? What are the actual results you're supposed to see from all this? What's the payoff for operating in this system? What's really interesting is that the speaker says the real proof isn't cash, even though that might come along with it. Instead, it's about these 3 big things: access to powerful systems and people, loyalty from others who want to help you, and visibility for your gifts so they don't go unnoticed. And to back this up, this sermon brings up a few examples from history and the Bible. Think about the Israelites leaving Egypt. Their enemy, Pharaoh, actually ends up just giving them gold on their way out. That's presented as favor, making even your adversaries help you. And really, the ultimate promise here is that this system can break through those really long, frustrating periods of being stuck. That door that's been shut for a decade,
The claim is that this anointing, this favor, can swing it wide open.
Okay, we've gone through the definition, the keys, the outcomes. So what's the big idea we should walk away with? What's the bottom line? When you boil it all down, the system of favor, it's not a passive thing at all. It's not about just sitting back and waiting. It's an active partnership. It's divine help that's unlocked by human action. Things like prayer, honor, and wisdom, all working together to give you an advantage. And that kind of leaves us with one final thing to chew on. This sermon lays out a spiritual system of advantage. But it makes you wonder, right? What other hidden systems, social ones, economic ones, whatever, are out there shaping who gets ahead and who doesn't in our world? Something to think about.